One of the things that made Dust 514 really stand out for me the first time I played it was the fact that the game has like a money system that other games I have played I have not seen before. And this is actually something that's actually pretty confusing for some people out there that have never encountered something like this before. I've never played like an MMO type game. A lot of people on console never played an MMO type game, and bringing something that is kind of like an MMO, the very first FPS MMO to the first PlayStation 3, is something a lot of people have not seen before and are not used to. So let's go ahead and analyze exactly how you can manage your money a little bit better in this game. So the first thing I'm gonna go ahead and press start. I'm gonna go ahead and go on my character, my fitting, and go to my drop suit fitting so we can see exactly what I have with my character. As you can see right now, I have two separate fittings. Both of them are identical except for the gun they are using. Even though the guns look to be the same, they are actually different. One is the tactical assault rifle, and the other one is the burst assault rifle. Let's go ahead and click on either, since it doesn't matter which one we actually click on. Whenever you click on something and you actually look at it, you can see that it actually has like a price on it if you actually click on it. When you actually click on something, you can actually click restock, and it tells you the price per unit that specific item, that specific equipment, that specific weapon costs. So this one costs 17,625. Now the first thing you gotta keep in mind is whenever you go to the marketplace, it actually tells you the price for everything that you're going to buy. So let's go to the marketplace. Let's go, for example, let's go to militia gear, which is the first thing most beginners would probably be buying. So let's go to militia gear, and let's go, for example, to the weapons for the militia gear, and it's going to show us the weapons that more than likely the beginners are going to be using, because these ones don't have any prerequisites for the beginners to actually use. As you guys can see, each one has like their own ISK, and the ISK is the currency that Dust 514 uses for the money. As you guys can see up top in the top right corner, I got over almost 9 million ISK right now. I had over 12 million yesterday. I spent some of it. So for the first military assault rifle, it's cost 610 ISK. The militia force gun costs 610. This one costs 210 ISK. This is for the scrambler pistol. It's like a regular pistol. We got militia shotgun costs 610. So the price for the militia gear is quite cheap. Now the way the Dust 514 works is every single unit that you buy, you actually gotta buy it in multiples. As you guys can see right now, if you look where it says owned, if you look at where it says the tab that says owned, underneath it says that I have 50 militia assault rifles. This means that I either purchased or obtained through buying something online 50 of these militia assault rifles. So you multiply the 50 times the 610, and that gives you the amount of money that you actually would have spent if you actually purchased this from here. Now each time you buy something, and each time you die in battle, you lose a copy, regardless of whether you used it or whether you did not use it. As long as the copy was in your drop suit fitting. So for example, this one says I have 13 left. What that 13 means is that I have 13 left of that specific kind. And what that 13 is, it points to the slowest specific item that I got equipped that has the least amount of copies left. So for example, that 13 comes from this. It comes from the militia shield recharger. That means I got 13 of these left. So whenever I'm in battle and I die, after I die 13 times, they will not let me pick this drop suit in battle, because one of the slots that I initially had equipped, one of the slots that I initially had with something in it, will not have something in it. It would have been different from what it was originally before I entered the battle. So it would not let me pick this one. So now the way to actually check out the price on each one of these things and how the money spends itself whenever you die is, of course, just by knowing exactly how much money each one thing costs. So for example, when we click here and we click X, we go to restock, of course, like I said, and this gun costs 17,625. This is an advanced class gun. Usually guns that are the regular starter class, usually they cost under 1,000 per gun. But if you go to advanced class, they tend to cost like around 17,000, like 10,000 to 20,000 usually on average. Now, if we go over here to the militia shield extender, we can actually see when we click restock, it actually tells us the price is 400 ISK. When we go over here and we click restock, it actually tells us this is 550 ISK. When we go over here, this thing, it tells us the complex light damage modifier. This is something that's an advanced class, and we click restock, it's going to tell us that it costs 5,595 ISK per every single time that you purchase it. So what happens every time you die? Every time you die, you lose a copy of every single one of these things that you have here. You lose a copy of this, a copy of this, a copy of this, and a copy of this. So the way to figure out exactly how much money you're going to be spending every time you die is by figuring out how much money you lose every time you die. So we got 17,000 plus we got about 400 something, we got another 500 something, we got another 5,000 something. Now the way to actually make sure and see exactly how much money you're spending is by actually going outside and clicking the restock option for the full overall drop suit. You also got to keep in mind that if you purchase a drop suit that is not unlimited, like this one right here, the Minmatar medium frame M1 series, as you guys can see, I got 26 of these left. When I actually click on my own drop suit, the drop suit itself costs money. The drop suit itself costs 14,280. So you got to add up all those numbers at the same time to figure out how much money you would be losing per every time you die, and how much money you will have to spend to restock up on one copy of everything at the same time. Over here, what we got is blueprint copies, blueprint equipment. Well, blueprint equipment, as you guys can see, it doesn't have a number on it. With blueprint equipment, they are unlimited. You get one copy of those, and the copy never runs out. Now, let's go ahead and actually click out, and let's see exactly where it's what I mentioned before. Whenever we're actually here, you can actually click X, and you can click directly on restock before actually instead of edit, and it will actually restock everything that you have in the drop suit. So it actually tells us the price for everything that we have in the drop suit, which actually costs money, which you would lose a copy of every time you died. So the total cost of everything in this drop suit is 38,450. So every time you die, you would lose that much money. So you gotta keep in mind that's how much money you would lose in this drop suit every time you die. So let's say if you're a person that's a beginner, you go into battle, you die 5 times, and multiply that 5 times those 38,000, and you're more than likely going to be losing out on about 117,000 K per battle. So that gives you an idea of how much money you spend or how much money you lose every time you go into battle and every time you die. In this game, in DOS 514, staying alive in battle means getting more money. The more you stay alive, the less money you will have to spend later on reattaching and restocking up your weapons. Now let's go ahead and actually click in here, and let's go ahead and edit again, and let's go ahead and change around our classes. Let's go ahead and take this off over here and put something else that lets us increase the size of how much we can equip on. This, I went over this in the previous video about the drop suit fitting and about making your drop suit, making your drop suit work the way it's supposed to work. Alright, so over here we have that the total price, the total weight that I can wear is CPU is 246 and my PG is 45. So we gotta unequip both of these things right here, but otherwise I will not have enough points to do so. Let's unequip both of these. Let's go ahead and equip another one of the complex light damage modifiers, which is over here. Complex light damage modifier right here. And we can actually see that this one costs 5,000. Like I said before, it costs around 5,000 per every single one. So now we got 2 copies of them. So now when we actually go into battle, we're going to lose a copy from each one. We don't lose 1 copy. We lose 1 copy from each slot that we got equipped. So we lose 1 here and 1 here. So every time we die in battle, we will lose 2 copies. So instead of losing out on only 5,500 or something, we will be losing out on close to 11,000. So whenever we actually click out over here and we click on restock, you guys will actually see that it says 43,095, and this is because it doubled the amount of that specific gear that we were using in battle. So whenever we die in battle, we're going to lose 2 copies of that gear instead of only 1 because we have 2 equipped. So that gives you a general idea of how to calculate your money. Now, one way I actually calculate my money is that I actually do look at the wallet. Whenever you click on the start and you click on character, there's actually an option here that says wallet. It tells you how much money you have spent on something, how much money you have gained per battle. Usually on average I get around 200 ISK per battle. Everything that is green right here is money that you have gained. Everything that is red is money that you have spent on something. So as you guys can see right here, I spent a little bit of money, I spent a little bit of money, I spent a little bit of money, a little bit of money in each single one of those spots. And then it also tells me how much money I got per each single one of the battles I went to. On average, I get about 200,000 ISK per battle. That's the average I get. So that gives you a general idea of how much you want your gear to cost before you're able to equip it. And it also counts the amount of times you die. So for example, let's give you a general idea. If you go to the marketplace and you want to equip a really high gear drop suit, something that's really expensive, let's go ahead and go to medium. Let's go ahead and go to basic, for example, and let's go ahead and scroll down to the highest class that I could wear that I'm actually working on right now. I'm working on this one right here, and it costs 62,960 ISK. If I went ahead and decided to purchase, let's say, 50 copies of this, I will have to multiply the 50 times the 62,960 ISK. Now that's a lot of money, but keep in mind that that's just for the drop suit alone. So for example, this drop suit costs 62,960. But at the same time, let's say you die in battle 3 times. If you die in battle 3 times, you multiply 62 or 60, let's just say 6 times 3, that's already about 180. So you would be spending about 187 ISK per every 3 times you die in battle. That's how much money you will be losing out on. So unless you're completely sure that you're going to survive in battle with this thing on, unless you're completely sure, for example, that you say you have 50 copies of this, but every time you die in battle, let's say you calculate your average deaths in battle is about 3 times. That means you will be spending about 187,000 ISK per battle on these copies. So in actuality, add on to that the 200 ISK you get per battle on average, and you can add that, you can subtract that pretty much. So you can go to the fitting, drop suit fitting, subtract that. So let's say, for example, the drop suit itself would cost 60 something thousand, and then these two things over here cost another 11,000, and then this over here would cost you another 17,000. So let's say you die in battle 3 times, right? If you go over here and you go to restock, and you click restock, it actually tells you how much, right? And but the actual drop suit right now is only 14,000. That's multiplied by the 1. So let's add on to this. Let's add on to this. I don't know, another 40,000. So it would be about around 80,000 ISK per every single time you died. So if you died 2 times, that's 160,000 ISK. If you died 3 times, then that's 240,000 ISK. So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So the higher the level of the class of things you equip, the more money you will be spending, because every time you die, you will be losing out 1 copy of them. So specifically speaking, for anything over 60,000, that's a lot of money. If you die more than 3 times in battle, you will be losing out on money, and your currency, your wallet, will steadily drop down. So like I said, as a guide, make sure to always look at this and see how much you get on average. Some games you're going to do well and get more money, other games you're going to do terrible because your team is just getting destroyed, and that happens to me a lot. In this one I got an average 200 something thousand, and then in this one I got 178, and over here I got 94. So as you guys can see, sometimes the battle just don't go the way you want it to. So hopefully this kind of like explains how money works in this game and how you can manage your money a little bit better. And hopefully I did not ramble on a lot, and I actually explained myself well. You know, ISK is the way the money works, the way the money in the game works. And if you want to be able to make money, if you want to be able to purchase things at a higher level, then I highly recommend you always pay attention to how much money you're spending in each one of the things in your class. Usually for low level players, this will not be an issue, because you only be spending a little bit of money in each single one of the things you got, because they're all cheap anyways. But the higher level you get and the more advanced things you buy, the more money you will be wasting, because things innately cost more money, and they all add up. Every time you die, it all adds up. So you gotta keep in mind the total cost of your drop suit per death every single time you upgrade it. So thank you guys for watching, thank you guys for listening. Hopefully this was helpful out there. So I got you guys later.